Hi friends, my name is Ashwini. I welcome you all today to my channel. First of all, a very happy new year to each and every one of you. I hope your year has started with a lot of excitement, energy, enthusiasm. I know that for me it is a big start to this new year. It has been very exciting, very busy, and of course very interesting because let the topics begin. I bought a house. Yes, sure, we were thinking about settling down and getting a house, but it will happen so soon was not in the plan. And when it actually happened, it happened so quickly that there was not a lot of time to think. But now that I have taken some time to reflect back on what has happened in the last couple of months, I realized that there are certain things that me and my husband were doing, or we had learned, or those were certain practices that we were doing which actually made this move quite easier. And as you know, on this channel we always want to help out each other, and those are the things that I'm going to share with you in today's video. So the first and the most important thing when it comes to buying any kind of a property is obviously your finances, right? I mean, you need to have the necessary finances arranged. And yes, we were saving for a house for quite some time now, but managing such a huge amount for the down payment and all the other charges that were there within a span of 2 months was actually a little tedious, but not because of the practices that we were following as a couple in our finances for the last 1 year. So, of course, for this house, we were definitely saving, but not like to an extent like we had to manage everything within a span of 2 months. We did not have the plan of how to go about it and what to do about it. But it is not within that short period of time is what you do to get your finances, but it is the practices of finances that you have in your day-to-day life that help you to manage them and arrange those finances when it is needed, like in my case about buying a house. So in 2020, when we started working from home, I had some time on my hand, so I had decided to invest some time in learning about finances, learning about investments. Sure, before that also I was investing and saving and had an emergency fund and all those things. But in 2020, I proactively chose every single day to sit for at least 30 minutes and read about investments, read about stocks, read about how my portfolio needs to be managed. Before that, I didn't even understand how that portfolio increase goes up and down and all those things. I read a couple of books. I was reading a lot of articles on economic times, and you know the recession. I mean, it's not the recession, but it was a huge dip that happened in 2020, and how the companies were recovering from that. So I always had an eye on all these things, and at the same time I made sure that I stay updated, so my financial situation actually stays updated. Because I started doing a lot of investments, I started saving a lot, I started cutting down on unnecessary expenses, which to be honest weren't that much from the beginning. But I started to change my mentality about finances, that it is not just about saving, or it is not just about investing, but it is about being aware of what is happening in the world, and at the same time being aware, having that same thing reciprocated in your own financial situation. And it so happened that yes, as I said, because we had been managing those things very well, when we were forced with the situation of having a huge amount ready for the down payment and everything for the house, we immediately knew exactly where our investments is, which we can remove, which we cannot remove, which are the dud policies or anything that we had, which we can transfer. We had also read the policy documents really clearly, so those things were already there. That information was already there, so we did not have to sit down and dig and then find out whether it's a loss or a profit, or which one do we need to sell or which one do we need to keep. So having that update, actually, if you are already doing it, awesome, keep doing it. But for someone like me who does not like to go and see her investments, like not even on a monthly basis, it was really a big learning to be doing that. So because of that, we could arrange the finances. The second thing is, what I have personally noticed is, whenever you focus on something, whether it is as small as your not as small, it is actually, finances are a big thing, but even if you put little by attention towards it, somehow the universe also starts helping you in all the possible directions. So I don't know, this year all of a sudden we had received a bonus at work, then there was a tax refund which what I expected was less, and what I got was actually more than that. Then there were certain reimbursements that came in. Some of my investments did really well. Now, yeah, sure, these things might be because of the situation or whatever it is, they were growing, but I had my eye on those and I knew exactly what was going on in my own financial situation, which helped me understand that and somehow helped me attract this kind of finance into my life, is what I would like to say. And you don't have to believe me. If you think that, if you don't believe in law of attraction or don't believe that the universe is helping you in all possible directions, that is totally fine. But think about it this way: whenever you focus on something, it tends, your attention is completely there, right? So even if that whole law of attraction thing is not your cup of tea, think of it. If you are focusing on your finances, if every week you are checking your bank accounts and bank statements and investments, or monthly you have certain practices that are there which will help you to be aligned with your finances, what will happen? If there is any extra charges that are going, you will be able to catch them, you will be able to save them. If there are any unnecessary subscriptions that are there, you will be able to catch them too, and then save that money as well. And you never know, when you keep looking at your finances, you know where it is performing better, where it is not performing better, and that's how you will be even able to grow. So even if you don't believe in the law of attraction, just focusing on your finances for as less as 30 minutes a day will help make a lot of differences in the financial situation that you are in. Now trust me, I don't do this every single day. I try to, but at the end of the day, I am a human being. It does not happen. But when situation like this comes, if you are in touch with your finances, it is definitely going to help you a lot, as it did to me. The second most important practice that I and my husband were doing for a couple of years is basically not buying stuff just for the sake of it. Like Marie Kondo always says, right? Buy only those things that spark joy. But I have learned it the really hard way, that when I started living on my own, that if you have a lot of stuff, you are the one who's supposed to manage it. I mean, it is a very simple lesson, but I just was not doing so when I used to stay at my parents' place. I just had a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes, and a lot of everything. If something is on sale, I'm out there buying it, and it was really not a very good habit. But when I started staying with my husband, or started staying away from my parents, where I had to take care of my things, I really got into the habit. And of course, the life-changing book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, Marie Kondo's book, if you have not read it, I highly recommend it, is actually very helpful in changing that mindset on why you need to have less stuff and how less stuff will actually bring you more happiness. So when I shifted, as I said, it was within a span of 2 months. So in September, we were staying in one of the rented apartments, which was a little bit bigger than what we needed. So we thought, like, let's move to a smaller apartment on rent basis. Again, then it was not decided to buy a house. So we shifted to that place. So the shifting happened, and like, I was so surprised to see that within 1.5 days itself, we were able to organize everything, even after that huge shifting had happened, because we had very less stuff. And when I say less, I don't mean to say I'm a minimalist or anything. We do have stuff that is needed, but it was so very well categorized and organized that I could just arrange everything within 1.5 days, and that was it. And then within a month, when we got to this point of buying a house, and we had to shift within 1 month because it was a ready possession house. At that point of time also, it saved me so much of mental stress to know that all my things are so perfectly categorized and so perfectly organized that I will not be in that stressful situation of, putting the house together. So again, when we shifted to the new house, the house that we are staying in, we could all arrange and organize everything within 1.5 days. In fact, the next day itself, I called my cook because the kitchen was also very set up and she could come and just start cooking. So It did save me a lot of time, it did save me a lot of stress, but at the same time, if there is a situation where everything just moves up, I know at least my material possessions are categorized and organized in a way which will not make my life stressful. So this is not something that just happened overnight and we decided, okay, let's get rid of all our stuff. No, I will tell you one thing. In the last 6 years that I've been married, we have shifted 5 times. Yes. And it is not adventurous or it is not at all fancy, but each and every time that we shifted, we made sure that we are decluttering our stuff, we are giving away stuff that we don't need, and at the same time, being very mindful consumers about every single thing that we bring in our house. Because what this does is basically obviously helps us save a lot of money because we are not just buying junk, but at the same time, whatever we are buying is actually something that sparks joy and actually something that we want to take care of, and we don't mind spending time in organizing and categorizing stuff. Now, I have said organization and categorization so many times, you might think like my house is like super organized with labeling and everything. No, organized in the terms of how functional and of course how aesthetic it looks, but not just aesthetic or just functional. So whatever I keep in my house, it looks beautiful because I like it. Even if it is not beautiful, I like it. Looking at it, it makes me happy. But at the same time, it is also very functional. That means it is easier for me to do things around the house. Because it is less, I am able to do this. So as I said, less stuff will actually bring you more happiness. So now you don't have to go ahead and do a declutter, but it is the start of a new year. It cannot be a better time than this for you to actually look at things around your house or your digital clutter if it is a lot, or whatever it is that is there in your life. Think of things that you can eliminate instead of bringing new things into your life to make you happy. Start by reversing the mindset by thinking, what can I declutter, what can I let go, whether it is a bad feeling, whether it is some clothes that don't fit you, or whether those are bad shoes or whatever it is. Just think of elimination as a process of trying to bring more happiness rather than elimination as a process of, oh, I have to give up stuff. No, in fact, when you delete all the negativity or delete all the stuff which no longer serves you, whether it is in your materialistic world or in your mental world, it is only going to bring you a lot of peace and joy. The last and the most important lesson that I have learned is to let it go. I mean, it couldn't have come at a better time. That is the end of 2020, the entire year. Things have absolutely not gone as per anyone's plan, and it was just the same with me. But you unless you're put into that situation and there is a stress test being done onto you, you do not. Sorry for my engineering language, but unless you are put into that situation and you actually face that stress, you will not learn to let it go, or you will not overcome that. Because learning a certain concept is okay, but when you are actually faced in that situation, remembering that concept and putting it to use is also very important. So as I said, within a span of 2 months, there were 2 shiftings that were done. Although those shiftings were not so stressful, but the entire finance management behind that, even that was not so stressful. But throughout the whole process, there were so many things that were not going as per the plan. Like before we wanted to move in, we wanted to do some construction work within the flat, which could not happen. And then we had to bring our family from our native place for the puja, which we were a little bit reluctant for them to travel so much. So those arrangements had to be made, and a couple of really other stressing things which I don't even want to remember and don't even want to stress you guys with those things. But there were points where I felt so out of control. Like one fine night, I was like so feeling out of control. So I thought, let me just do something that is in my control, and that was just like coloring my hair. I even put up a post saying that the one thing that I can control or change is my hair color, and that is what I did. Now, I don't suggest that you also, if you are in a panic situation or if you feel very stressed, go and color your hair. This was something that makes me happy. This was something that helped me put in a very calm state of mind. Like when the guy was doing my hair, I was just letting things go and forgetting about everything that was happening around. And I was just feeling blessed and happy for everything that was working in my favor at that particular time, and I could not do it and I was feeling happy that I could even color my hair because of the earlier time where it was not safe to go outside and all. I actually found a safe way to get this done by a professional. So again, that was a very peaceful moment. So I was just thinking and reflecting back on those things and being grateful for those moments, and at the same time being okay with things not going my way. So as I said, even if you have the best of the five super in plan in your life, there will be times when things are not within your plan and things will just go all the way. Going through that emotion, sometimes all you can do is just let it go. And I'm not saying that it is a negative emotion, because trust me, now that I reflect back on these last 2-3 months that were so busy and I even wanted to post my YouTube videos, and I was actually having everything ready, but during the time of the posting, either there was no internet because I was staying in a rented apartment, Wi-Fi was not good. So many things happened that as I said, creating those videos and trying to upload them was in my control. But then if certain situations like these happen, it wasn't in my control, and I wanted to stick to the schedule, but I could not. And that's when I gave myself a breather, because this is something that I enjoy doing. This is something that I really like doing. And if I'm going to do it with a lot of stress, the whole enjoyment part of it goes out. And if I'm doing it with a lot of pressure on myself, it is just not fair to everyone who's watching me, because it is not something that will come from my heart. Rather, it will be something that I'm forced to do, right? So it was okay. I just let it go. I said, okay, fine. When I'll be in that right mind of creativity and I'm actually ready to give honestly to the world and I'll not be stressed about it so much, I will get back on schedule. And that is what I'm doing here. And trust me that these lessons that I learned, however small, helped me a lot when I was doing the goal setting or planning for this year. Because as I said in my previous window, it is not just about setting goals, achieving them. How mindful are you and what are the learnings that you have along the road are also very important. So there is, as I promised, a part 2 of that video. I do not want to do that part before I myself do the goal setting for this year, so that I can also explain the entire process of how I do it and how I keep a track of how I'm progressing throughout the year. So if you have not already done your goal setting for the year, or if you have done that and already fallen off the wagon, don't be disheartened. Every single day is a new start. So I would highly recommend you to first check out the earlier video that I have created. Get yourself prepared for how to do the goal setting. Even before you do, what are the things that you need to do before you do a goal setting. So make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. It's free. Come on guys, just one right click, yes, right there. And you're also having the notification bell on so that you will be notified when I post that video. And I will see you next week. You take care till then. Bye bye.